Hello, my name is Sip Mendes. Welcome to Sip's Wood Chips. And something I've been having a little bit of trouble with in the past, and I've been wanting to take care of, is using my Jacobs chuck, a drill chuck, on my lathe to hold things like mandrels for doing pans or for doing things like bottle stoppers. These are some of the bottle stoppers I make. And what happens is, with the vibration of the lathe, the drill chuck sometimes works its way loose, and that can be dangerous for sure. And so what I needed for my drill is I needed a drawbar. And what a drawbar is it goes through the one end of the lathe. On my lathe I have one of these. This is a what they call a hand wheel, and on some lathes you have to purchase them separately. Some lathes are built in, and some lathes, they come with the product. But you tighten this into one end of the arbor, and then you pass the drawbar through, and then it screws into the drill arbor, and that keeps the drill chuck from coming loose. Okay. This is a kind of fancy one. I built a fancy one because it's more like a knob, and I can tighten that with my hand. This end I still haven't cut. When I'm satisfied with the length of it, I'll go ahead and cut that off, and I'll put a dome cap on it, so it won't have any sharp edges. A little quick update. I haven't been able to get as many videos out lately. Things have been keeping me busy. I had to have my gallbladder taken out, and we went on a trip for our 40th anniversary. I'm going to try to get caught up here and get these out more often for you. I've appreciated everybody watching the videos. I enjoy your comments and questions, and it's always fun doing this. And I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Also, a shout out to Larry at the Tiny Trailer Workshop. He's a great artist, fantastic woodworker, wood turner, and I've learned a lot from watching his videos. He's had a little bit of a health problem right now, and I hope he gets better, gets some more videos out there, and I hope things go well for him. So if you got a chance, click on over to the Tiny Trailer Workshop. I'm sure you'll find something of interest. Before you start any project, make sure you read, understand, and follow all the instructions that come with your power tools and equipment. Woodworking is fun, but it's also important to work safely. This is the what they call the hand wheel on my wood lathe, and this has to pass through this this hand wheel. And if you'll notice, the hand wheel has a center part here, and this is about 1 inch in diameter. Maybe it's 25.5 millimeters. And so the simplest way to do it is that you get a washer that fits that snugly and put a wing nut down in there. Now, it's rather hard to tighten that wing nut, so that's the drawback to using this. You can also make a bushing out of a little piece of scrap wood, put it through here, and that works better because that way the wing nut is where you can get your fingers on it, and you can tighten it and loosen it, and it's out of the way. It's a lot safer than if it were sticking way out here. But I have a very nice wood lathe, and I like making wood projects, so of course I can't go with simple. I need to make something a little bit more complicated than this. So here's my little diagram, and this knob that I'm going to make has to have a 1 inch diameter at this point, and this is the part that goes out into the arbor. Okay, so to build this project, you need a piece of ball thread rod. Always buy one that's longer than what you need, and we'll cut it, fix the threads, and You can save the rest for the next project. We need a piece of wood. It needs to be about 1 inch in diameter and maybe about 4 inches long. 1 inch is about 25 millimeters. 4 inches is going to be right at about, in centimeters, that'll be about 10 centimeters long. Okay. And you can use any piece of scrap you like. I got a little piece of an old umbrella that was probably made of teak. I can use that quite easily. You can either grab it in a chuck, or you can just turn it between centers. It'll work just as well. So here is my piece of scrap wood mounted in my lathe. And these are what they call spigot jaws. And I'm going to measure over about 4 inches, right about here. And the first thing I need to do is go ahead and mark that off. And I'm going to spin that at 850. That should be fine. Move this down just a little bit. And the first thing I'm going to do is get my face shield, put that on. I have a 1/8 inch parting tool, and we'll cut that off at the 4 inch mark. I'm going to relieve the tension on my piece and then finish cutting it. Bring up my tail stud just for a little extra support. Okay, so I'm going to turn off my lathe and move my tool rest over a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and chew that up. And I'm just starting with a 1/2 inch gouge. Spindle gouge. So I'm going to erase my tool rest a little bit there. And I'm just going to chew that up with a 1/2 inch spindle gouge. So I'm going to round over this end a little bit. And so that's going to be the top of the knob. And I'm going to make the knob about a little bit, about 1 inch, 25 millimeters. Okay. to be exceptionally large. So I'm going to probably reduce the size here and here. This will be kind of straight. And then the last part that goes down into the recess, it's going to be about that wide. So this part will be about 1 inch in diameter, and then the rest will be a little bit wider. I'll take my parting tool and go ahead and reduce the size of that. So I have my caliber set at 1 inch. Now I can finish shaping my knob. I'm going to go ahead and round this end of my knob. So now I need to drill a 1/4 inch hole in the end of my knob. I'm going to take my speed down to 500 and make sure everything's tight. I'll go ahead and loosen my ram, and I need to drill all the way through, and that means I need to drill almost to the end of the chuck. So we'll drill a little bit, back it out, make sure it's clean, keep it clean. When it starts squeaking, that's how you know to back it out. It's squeaking as this wood shavings, the waste binding inside the hole. I need to bring this up a little closer. And this should be the last one here. And I want to make sure it passes all the way through. Okay, now I can go ahead and sand it and give it a little bit of wax finish, and I'll do that offline. And I sanded that quickly with just some 150 and some 220. And I've been using this new kind of sandpaper, and it's called No Slip Grip. No Slip Grip backing. Lasts 10 times longer than regular sandpaper. And it is made by 3M, and got it over at Home Depot. And it actually does work pretty darn good. It's really strong. It doesn't clog up. And so I'm going to give that a try for a while. They seem to have gotten rid of all of their just standard sandpaper now. So I'm going to take this little piece of cloth here. And this is just wax, beeswax, mixed with a little bit of linseed oil. And I'm just going to rub that to give it a little bit of color, give it a little bit of a finish. Okay. And I can also go ahead and put some in here also, because that's not really going to touch anything. And that makes a nicer handle. I'll let that soak in for a couple of minutes and just wipe it off. This part for the recess, it doesn't need to be much more than a 1/4 inch long. So I'm going to take it off right about there. So there's my knob. Okay. And looks like I didn't drill all the way through, so I'll have to finish that on the drill press. Okay, so here's my threaded rod, and I still have this big washer, so I'll put this big washer on there. Put the knob. Then I'll put a washer on this side, a 1/4 inch washer, and we'll tighten that down. And now, if I tighten these two nuts, then when I turn the knob, it won't be loose. It'll be tight. The rod will slip through my hand wheel on the back of my lathe and look like that, and I'll be able to tighten it. Anytime I want, I can just put it in there, and I won't need the tools anymore. So for now, I'm going to cut this about 1 inch longer than it needs to be, because I want to do some testing, and I'll try it with some of my other accessories and see how they work. And when I get it to the maximum I need, then I'll cut it again. Now I'm just using a metal cutting hacksaw here. When I cut the threaded rod, it left some burrs on here, so I'm going to grind those off. And I'll grind these off first. That. And then I'm just going to very lightly. I just want to get to that. On the wire wheel, I'm just going to get rid of any final burrs. And again, hold it very lightly. Just get rid of those. That should be pretty good. So here's how it's going to work. This is my my Jacob's chuck. And that goes in here to the arbor. This is the part I made, my drawbar. It slides in here, and you have to feel it around to make sure that it starts threading. And once it's threaded, you can put it in here, all the way in, and tighten it. And it doesn't have to be overly tight, and all it's there for is to keep the Mars taper tight and snug. And I'm going to turn it on. There we go. And now I don't have to worry about the drill chuck coming loose. So here's my finished drawbar, and it works good on my lathe there. I got enough room to tighten it. And I'm going to go ahead and try it with my other accessories, my screw chuck. And when I'm satisfied with it, with the length of it, I'll go ahead and cut this, and I'll put a dome type nut over it. Okay, and that way I won't have any exposed threads. Well, if you've enjoyed this video, click on like. If you're not a subscriber, click on subscribe. If you're not a member of YouTube, sign up for an account. It's quick and it's easy. And you can leave messages, ask questions, and you can get answers.